Another episode of Deep True Crime. I'm Manny Rodriguez. Thank you for joining me. In today's episode, we are covering the overnight shooting, the Chesapeake Walmart mass shooting. An employee, a manager employee, literally opened fire in a break room on his co-workers. This is a terrible, tragic story. Before we dive into it, I want to wish those 6 victims rest in peace. I hope that the families do find some justice. This is one of those hard things. It's like, here is another mass shooting. And these are the type of things that, why does it happen? It shouldn't continue to happen. Well, let's go ahead and dive into the story so we can find out what do we know at this time. On Tuesday night, November 22nd, 2022, at 10:12 p.m., a call came in reporting a shooting at Walmart Supercenter in Chesapeake, Virginia. The Walmart was still open to the public and night shift workers had just recently clocked in. Once again, another mass shooting had occurred. A witness at the deadly mass shooting inside a Walmart in Chesapeake, Virginia, on Tuesday evening claims the suspect was a manager and the shooting was planned. And the Walmart manager who killed 6 people and himself in this Tuesday night massacre has been identified as 31-year-old Andre Marcus Bing. And according to 2 law enforcement sources, they confirmed that it was Andre Marcus Bing. A witness and a source familiar with the matter would share. Police have confirmed that 7 people, including the suspect, are dead. In a press conference Wednesday morning, police said the suspect had died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound and also confirmed the shooter was definitely indeed an employee. And according to the witness, there were 14 employees in a meeting room waiting to learn their duties for the day when the shooting began. The witness added that she believes the shooting was planned and targeted other managers at that specific Walmart. At one point, she said she heard the suspect laughing. It didn't even look real until you could feel the gun go off, said the witness, who was only on her 5th day working at the Walmart. I will never go back in that store again. I can't even leave my front door. The witness claims the shooter had issues with other managers at that Walmart, which led her to believe that the shooting was planned. The gunman who killed 6 people at this Walmart in Virginia was a store manager, a source familiar with the case did tell CNN. Now, the manager, who was known as an overnight team lead for the store in Chesapeake, had worked at the Walmart since 2010. That is 12 years of employment. And other people who were recently hired within the last 6 months were warned about this manager, saying that he always has problems with someone. He literally was always getting into it with employees. And the motive behind the massacre remains a mystery. Investigators believe that the gunman died from a self-inflicted wound, and this is according to Police Chief Mark Solesky, who said this Wednesday morning during this press conference. And this deadly rampage started around 10:12 p.m. Tuesday night, less than an hour before the Walmart Supercenter was set to close. 4 people that were injured in the attack remain hospitalized Wednesday morning, according to the police chief. At least 2 were in critical condition, said Dr. Michael Hooper, Vice President and Chief Medical Officer at Centara Norfolk General Hospital. Investigators swept the store overnight into Wednesday morning, searching for victims or people who may have been hiding. That's according to Chesapeake Police spokesperson Leo Kozinski. Joetta Jeffrey told CNN that her mother, Betsy Umflett, sent her texts from inside the store during the shooting, alerting her that someone had opened fire. Jeffrey told CNN, "I'm crying, I'm shaken. I had just talked to her about buying turkeys for Thanksgiving, then this text came in." Jeffrey said her mother is uninjured, but in shock, and they've been reunited. Now, Chesapeake city officials have asked people to stay away from the store during the investigation. "Our first responders are well trained and prepared to respond. Please give them space to do so," the city of Chesapeake would tweet. A reunification center was set up at the Chesapeake Conference Center, the city officials said. They are asking that only immediate family and emergency contacts for people who were in the store go to the center. In a statement, Walmart said it's shocked at the tragedy that unfolded in one of its stores. "We are praying for those impacted, the community, and our associates. We are working closely with law enforcement and we are focused on supporting our associates," the company also said in a statement. The Washington, D.C. field office of the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives is assisting local police in the investigation, the Bureau also tweeted. Now, the Walmart gunman who opened fire in the break room of the Chesapeake store where he worked last night, killing 6 people before committing suicide, always had a problem with staff. And this is according to survivors. Witnesses and survivors have told how he opened fire in the break room of the Walmart in Sam's Circuit, Chesapeake at 10:12 p.m. last night, where 14 employees had gathered for a pre-shift meeting. By 10:16 p.m., when the first cops entered the store, the gunman had killed himself and 6 people by that time. At least one person's body was found outside, but it's unclear if that was the shooter's body or one of his victims. Among the victims is 22-year-old Tynika Johnson. Rest in peace, Tynika. Only 22 years old. She was named by her family on Wednesday, and that's how they knew one of the victims. Survivors on Wednesday shared harrowing details of how the gunman was known to be problematic among staff, as I just shared. Now, Breonna Tyler, who had worked at the store for 2 months, told Good Morning America that he was the one to look out for. There was always something going on with him, just having an issue with someone, but I never expected it would get to this level. He was the manager that everybody had something to say about. Witnesses also described seeing some bodies being carried out in shopping carts. Jeremy Basham, who had been shopping, told the New York Times he saw at least one body being carried out in a cart. 2 of the victims died in the hospital. As soon as my team lead said, "All right, we have a light night tonight," I looked up and my manager just opened the door and he just opened fire. He wasn't aiming at anybody specifically. He just literally started shooting throughout the entire break room, and I watched multiple people just drop down to the floor, whether they were trying to duck for cover or they were hit. He didn't say a word. He didn't say anything at all. He just came around the corner and started shooting, Breonna Tyler told Good Morning America. Others tell a different story of a targeted planned attack in which the gunman deliberately killed other managers. Employee Jessie Wilczewski said she was hiding under a table when the gunman looked right at her and told her to go home. It didn't even look real until you could feel the pow, pow, pow. You can feel it. I couldn't hear it at first because I guess it was so loud, I could feel it. One witness who survived the shooting told local Virginia outlet Wavy that the shooter had issues with other managers in the store, which led her to believe the attack was planned. And on Wednesday morning, police raided the shooter's 3-bedroom home in Chesapeake, which is around 3 miles from the store. And you can see where they broke into his home, be looking for whatever they have. Now, a second Walmart employee who showed up for their night shift shortly after told reporters at the scene, "Thank goodness I showed up late. The supercenter was open to the public at the time of the shooting, and cops said that that Walmart had been busy as shoppers were preparing for Thanksgiving." An employee at Walmart where 6 people were killed Tuesday said he narrowly missed the rampage because he was running late for work. "Thank goodness I showed up late," one employee at the Chesapeake Walmart where a manager opened fire. Employees of the store were gathered outside after the shooting in order to take attendance. 7 people are, as I shared, dead following the mass shooting, and one of those is the perp who killed himself. And referring to the gunman, the shaken staff member added, "He blew his brains out and everything. He killed the girl in there and everything. He came in and started spraying. I'm sorry for the victims. I just left the break room. The manager come in there and started capping people up in there, started shooting. Sadly, we lost a few of our associates." Virginia Beach police responded to assist the Chesapeake Police Department. The Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms in Washington tweeted in the early hours on Wednesday morning that they were also on their way to help with the investigation. Now, this store employee that you see on your screen right now, he described the horror on Facebook Live and first identified the assailant as a manager. So right away, he went to live right afterwards, and he was respectful, not showing the scene, but he showed him looking at the scene, but he didn't show, but he shares in his live, "He blew his brains out and everything. He killed the girl in there and everything. He came in and started spraying. I'm sorry for the victims," said the employee, a man who is reportedly named Kevin Harper. "I just left out of the break room. The manager come up in there, started capping people up in there, started shooting, bro. The manager came in, started dumping, man. As soon as I left out the break room, he went in there, man. That's SHIT wild." And this is where it's extremely sad to even know. You rest in peace to all these people. So you can see at 10:12 p.m., the gunman opens fire in the break room inside the store while employees are having a meeting. It wasn't long after where 2 minutes later, first cops arrive on the scene. At 10:16, first cops enter the store. And at that time, he is not alive. And so you can see at 11:20 p.m., the scene is officially declared safe. After they knew everything that went on, and they knew that the gunman was dead, and so then they knew that it was safe to enter. It has to go back to all this stuff, how are these people is it that easy to get a gun? Do you just need a clean record to get a gun? I don't understand. I don't know. We'll find out a lot more about this. Right now, that's all we really know. I've shared as much as we know at this time, and my goal is to keep you updated as to what could go wrong in this crazy world we live in. My friends, if that's the type of content you like to follow, hit that subscribe. If you got some value from this video, hit on that like button. That way you get notified. That way YouTube knows there's value, show it to more people. And if you hit on that notification bell, you'll get notified whenever I upload any content. Because at the end of the day, I want to be a voice for the victims, and I want to keep you aware of what could go wrong in this crazy world we live in. It is obvious that we do not live in a safe world. We have known that before media, before social media, before TV media. We have known that before any of us were born. We live in an evil society. Not every single person is evil, but unfortunately, too many are evil. Are we inherently evil? My guess is yes, we are. But we choose not to do stupid things. Hopefully, it's not in you to do something like this. Why would this guy do that? We don't know. We don't have an answer. Sometimes I'll be reporting on these cases, and I feel like it's surreal. It's like, did this really happen? Like, could this be a made up story? Because I don't understand how ugly of a case these things can possibly get. And at the end of the day, we just want this to stop. JDR shares that, yes, apparently it's that easy to get a gun in the US. It's much harder to get a driver's license. Well said. Well said. As we know, it's a privilege to drive, and it's really not that hard if you can pass a test. But to get a gun, something that can harm innocent, something that can kill easily by mistake. A kid gets a hold of a gun and boom, it's out. Wow. JDR shares that, that's a great question. I don't know if they're referring to maybe someone who was still alive, or that's a great question. That's a great question. I don't know, but eyewitnesses in the scene are sharing. You know how there could be misrumors, and I do my best. I did not want to report on this story till I had some more information. Obviously, it's been all over the news this morning, last night. I wanted to make sure that, number one, I didn't want to report it until I knew who the shooter was. I knew that was just a matter of time. And so I'm trying to share exactly what we know. And so that so far is what we know. I agree with you, JDR. What is wrong with people? I don't know. I've not led a perfect life. I'm human, right? But my gosh, I've never, ever thought of anything capable of anything like this. Granted, I don't really want to even own a gun. But in this crazy society that almost seems like a lawless society, if you live in New York City, you're wondering, like, how are these people not being arrested? Are we living in a lawless society? No, we're not. But my gosh, people are not afraid to get in trouble, are they? Until next time, my friends, please be safe out there and be careful. This is a crazy world we live in, so do your best to be careful. I'm Manny Rodriguez. Thank you for joining me on another episode of Deep True Crime. I look forward to serving you again. Have a great day and be safe. Peace.